Good, good morning or good afternoon, and welcome to a computer science tutorial in which we'll talk about how to create a weekly schedule in Microsoft Excel. So let's get to it real quick. So here we are. We are in Microsoft Office in the web page, and we're going to head over to Excel Online right here. Then we'll click on New Blank Workbook. Let's wait for it to open. And here we are. Alright, now that we have Microsoft Excel open, all we want to do is start creating the columns for the days of the week. And we'll start by writing down Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on all the way to Friday. And Saturday, of course. Almost forgot about that one. There we go. Okay, now that we have our 7 days of the week, and each of them represent one column, right? So this column will be for Sunday, this column will be for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. Everything that we have to do on Sunday, we put it here. Everything that we have to do on Monday, we put it here. And the same thing for the other days. Now, as in the instructions, it says that we need to go over here and create a column for time. And in this column, we'll be displaying the time by 30 minutes, right? So that would mean, like, if I wake up at 7 a.m. like this, dun dun, space AM, and then click enter. Look at that. Automatically it changed the AM to caps lock, and it recognizes its time, right? So don't put it together like this, 7:30 a.m. like this, because then it won't recognize it, and it'll be different, you see? But over here, if we add a space in between and then press enter, notice that now it is recognized as time. Right, so we have 7 a.m., 7:30, and since it's by 30 minutes, now it's 8 a.m. Now that we've established a pattern, we can just grab the pattern. This is the pattern that we have, and this is the pattern that we want to continue. And we're gonna grab right here on the bottom right. You see how my mouse turned into a cross, right? So we're gonna grab it right there with our click, and we're gonna drag it down. And let's see, not that much, not that further down, but at least enough for us to have until our bedtime, which would be around 9 for some people, 8, 7 for others, depends, right? So let's just, in my case, this is my little cousin's schedule, weekly schedule, so I'm going to put it up to the time that he goes to bed, which is 9. There we go, and 9. Ta-da! There we have. You could put them manually too, but it's way easier if we use the pattern that we already started with, right? So notice that all of the time spans right here are by 30 minutes. 12 p.m., 12:30 p.m., 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., and so on until 9 p.m. So it's all good. All good. Notice that here on Wednesday, I don't know if it happened to you as well, it's not fitting inside the cell like it should. So let's go over to the column. Let's click it. And on the border of the column on the right side, we can go ahead and hold our click, and we can expand the width of that column. We can do the same thing for the rows. We talked about this in the video conference, remember? If we wanted to make a row thicker or a column thicker or thinner, we could just click on that row or column and then expand it or reduce it. Alright, now we have the basic structure of our table. We want to start putting the lines just in case, right? Because it's going to be way easier if we put the lines, the borders, it's going to be way easier. So we could then add um, so we can then add all the information inside the schedule, right? So just click on the first cell of the whole table, and then we have to get all the way to I, like this, and then we go down to the last row. Be careful not to go too far down, then it's going to be hard to get back up. You have to scroll up then again and do it over again if you click somewhere else. Now, right here we have it all selected, and we're going to go over to borders. I'm going to put all borders because it's easier to distinguish the divisions, alright? Now, for our comfortability, we could go ahead and add colors to it by selecting what we want to color, and then using the bucket right here and adding the color that we want, like that. Okay, now how do we start inputting or putting the information about our routine? Well, first we have to make sure that we know what this table is about. So it's a weekly schedule. So let's go over to the top and write José's Quiñones weekly schedule. There you go. This is where you would write your name. Instead of Jose Quiñones, write down your first name and your last name, and then weekly schedule. Okay? Then you notice that it does represent the title of the table, but we could make it look better. So just like we did in the video conference, let's just select all the rows that we want to merge together so it could be centered and right there in the middle of where the table would be, right? So right here, we're going to select all these cells, and we're going to merge and center right here in the Home tab, merge and center. Ta-da! And now look at that. It looks so nice, right? Now let's put the borders. I selected the cell, I put the borders. It looks a little bit better. Guys, remember that you can always change the font size, the font style by clicking on the cell that you want to edit the font, and then you choose what type of letters do you want, right? And then you can choose also the size, like that. If it's too big and you think it doesn't fit, you can do one of two things: reduce the size, or go over here and expand the size of the cell of the row. See? So you can see it and understand it. Now, let's start by going over to Sunday. On Sundays, Jose usually wakes up a little bit later. So around 8:30 to 9 he wakes up, and at 9 he already eats breakfast, right? So let's type over here breakfast. Breakfast. Look at that. It fit almost perfectly. So we need to expand all the columns a little bit more to make it more comfortable for us to write. Okay, so let's just select all these columns by clicking on the letter on top on the column, dun -dun, and then keep selecting the other columns by holding down your click, and then you can go to any of those that are selected and expand it a little bit, and then all of the other columns will also adapt to that same size that you changed. So you see? And now it looks a little bit better, more organized. Let's do the same thing with the rows. We want them a little bit thicker because they're too thin and they might get confusing for our eyes. So let's expand them. Dun -dun. And there we go. That's better. Feels like a really long table, but it's not. Okay? Now, something that might help you out a lot would be clicking right here in this cell that you see right here under Sunday and to the right of the first time, which is 7 a.m. And we want to make sure that when we go down and sideways, we don't lose track of which column we're at, okay? We want to know if we're typing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, for example, right? So let's click over here under Sunday and right next to 7 a.m. and let's go to View. what we're going to do is make sure that when we go down, we can still see the days on top. Okay? So we're going to freeze panes. Click on freeze panes. Oh, no, wait. We need to split first. Something weird here. Let's see. Oh yeah, freeze panes. There we go. And now we are good. Now we can move around, and you see that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, we can still see all of those columns names, and we can still see the time even when we move to the right or to the left. You see, that is very cool. That makes it way easier for us to do this. Alright, I'm gonna hide the top part for you to be able to see much more clearly what we're doing. Okay? Alright, now I already put that that Jose eats breakfast on at 9 a.m. on Sundays. Then he usually, with his family, they watch the service. So watch service. Watch church service right here. And what happened here? Look at this. So it's too long to fit in the cell. We could expand the whole thing, make it even bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's even better if what we do is just simply merge it down. Because it doesn't take 30 minutes to watch a service. Usually it could take up to an hour. So let's just go over from 10 all the way to 10:30 up the way to before or right at 11 a.m. So it's just 2 blocks, because on the next one it starts 11 onward, 11:01, 11:02, right? So it's just from 10 to 10:59, let's say it like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go to home, click on merge and center right here. After selecting the 2 cells that you want, the same thing that we did with the title, that's what we're going to do here. Now merge and center. And wait, it still looks weird, doesn't it? It's because even though it's a merchant center and there is more space for the text, we haven't told the cells to wrap it in a way that it fits and we can see it. So let's wrap it up. Go to home after selecting the cell that you want to wrap up. And right here on top of merchant center, you will see wrap text. It has an ABC with a little arrow. So let's click on that and look at this. Ta-da! And now it looks way better, right? So let's apply wrap text to the whole table, because usually we want text to be displayed everywhere, right? So let's go ahead and we want to be able to see the text that we write. Go to home after selecting the whole table and click on wrap text. Then we are good. Now that we have that, the next thing that Jose does is eat lunch right after the service. So let's type here, eat lunch. And it could take him up to an hour as well. Sitting down and being at the table, talking, and joking with his family, etc. Right? So let's just select this, and let's say that he spends an hour eating lunch on Sundays. There we go. So then we're at 12 p.m. onward. So let's see what he usually does at that time. After eating lunch on Sundays, he does chores in the house. He does what he needs to do and make sure that he helps around. Alright, so do chores and help in the house. For example, right? So we can't see it because there's not enough space, even though it's wrapped. So we need to make sure that we're covering the whole section of time that he takes doing those chores and helping out in the house. So let's highlight all the way to 3:30. Right after 3:30 we have 4, so right there, 3:59, right? all of that time he's helping out, doing chores when needed, cleaning his own clothes, washing the bed sheets, cleaning his room, etc. Helping out with the pets and stuff like that. So now I have highlighted all that, and now I'm gonna merge and center. Ta-da! Now you notice that it's appearing right at the bottom of every cell, and you don't want it at the bottom. Just like over here, it's on the left side and on the bottom. Good, but we want it just like the title. We want it to look good, right? To make it look in the center of each cell. So let's highlight those cells that we want to center. Highlight it like that. Go to Home. And right here, you see, just like in Microsoft Word, you have this alignment options. So let's choose left, middle, left, center, right. Let's put center. And you also have the option of top, middle, and bottom. So right now everything's at the bottom. Let's put it on the middle. Like that. You see? What a difference it makes. It actually looks way cleaner and better. So let's do the same thing for all the cells inside the table without including the time. And now let's do it and see how it looks. Ta-da! Home, after selecting everything. Everything should be in the middle, not on the top, not on the bottom, in the middle. And then not on the left, not on the right, but in the center. And there we go. Let's look at the table now. Way better, right? Way better. And now, right after doing chores and helping in the house, he goes, takes a shower, he does some of the things that he needs to do, and then he has free and family time right here. Let's put it here. Free and family time. Ta-da. And it's all the way till 6. Because at 6, he eats dinner. So let's put it like this. Let's go to Home. Let's merge it. Ta-da. Like that. And we are good. Since we already selected everything and we wrapped it up and we centered it, we don't need to do it every single time for every single cell, because we already did it for all of the ones that are inside, right? So now we could put eat dinner right here, and usually it takes an hour. So let's merge and center the same way. There we go. You see, it's taking shape, right? Those Sundays, it looks like there's a lot to do, even though, you know, you never think about Sundays like that, right? So at 7 p.m. all the way to till bedtime, he has free and family time, if he doesn't have any homework that he's behind on, right? Because usually what he does is that he does all of the schoolwork during the week, so when the weekend comes, he's free. And he's able to enjoy time playing with his brother, or playing video games, watching movies, and spend time with his family. Now, let's go ahead and select all that time, put it Home, and merge and center it. Ta-da! Now, so what about Monday? We already finished with Sunday. But does it look good enough? Nah, I don't think so. It could look better. So let's go ahead and add some colors to it. So this is what you're going to do as well. You're going to go ahead and put colors to all the breakfasts should have one color. And let's say it's green, like that. In your case, you could choose another color, and it's okay. Be creative. And then we have what church service. If you have any activities related to the religion that you practice, go ahead, and if it's a routine, you could put it here if you wish, and select it, go to Home, change the color like this, and if you well, you could put any color. Remember that when you are assigning colors to these cells, it cannot go over the text. It cannot make it hard to read, okay? So whenever you choose colors, think about it. does it distract the reader, the one that's reading the schedule? Does it distract you? Is it hard to read the words inside the cell? So let's do the same. Since breakfast is also food, I'm gonna put eat lunch in green as well. Done. And then we have do chores and help around the house. So I would like for Jose not to forget about doing chores and helping in the house. So I'm gonna put that in highlighted color. Let's go ahead and do here. Let's put it in dark green, or yeah, something like this one's good. And I also want to go ahead and change the font color. Okay guys, so what I did is select over here, double click, and then you select the whole text by highlighting like that. Okay, by highlighting like this. That's one way. Or you could just click on the cell and then go to home and change the font color like this. Okay, let's put it in yellow like that. See? So do chores and help in the house. Then we have free time, which I'm gonna leave like that in that color in plain white. And then eat dinner, which I'm gonna put as in food in light green. There we go. We have all those. Let's make sure they have the same green, because if not, you see, that was a little bit darker. And now, why did that happen? All those blue lines that you saw was because since we're using online Excel, it's trying to select all the icons and all the cells if I hold the mouse and move it like that. So don't worry about that. Just click elsewhere. Alright? Now we have Sunday. Ta-da! Let's do the beginning of Monday, and then you can continue on to doing your schedule. Alright? So usually on Mondays he has classes, right? With the whole coronavirus thing, he's taking classes online. So he gets up at 7:30, more or less. He brushes his teeth and everything, and then he eats breakfast at 8. If he doesn't have class that early. If he does have classes that early, which in his case he doesn't, he eats breakfast sooner, like at 7:30 or 7 a.m. to be ready for class at 8. Alright, so here we go. Put breakfast. What we can do is copy the same one. Right click, copy. We could go over to where we want to put it, Control V for paste. Because if we try over here paste, it might let us though. You see, it does. The other way would be by pressing Control V as a shortcut. Now, the next thing would be to put the class. So the first class that he has on Mondays is math at 9 a.m. Yes. So it lasts up to all the way until 9:50 a.m. But it's good. Don't worry about it, because you can round it up. Alright? So it's almost an hour. It starts at 9 and it ends right before 10. Right? So it would be almost 1 hour. So these two cells would be for math. Let's go ahead and merge and center them. Home, merge and center. And now we put math, and we say, okay, from 9 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. Alright? We could put the double zeros like that, whichever makes it more comfortable for you. And here we go, 9 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. Okay? And then there we have the first class. I'm gonna put that in something that is very something that can call my attention, so I can remind him whenever I have the chance, or so he can see it himself and it calls his attention as well. So I'm gonna put it in a orange, something like that. Okay. Now, the same thing goes for English, which is his second class on Monday. If we want the same format, we just want to change the content, we can copy that cell and paste it down here. Check this out. It doesn't only copy the content. What I did was Control C for copy and then Control V, the shortcuts that we've talked about in class, for pasting. So right here I copied not only the format, the color, and the text, but also the fact that it's merging two cells together. You see? So we don't have to merge this one manually because we already copy pasted it here. And now all we have to do would be change the value. English 9:50 a.m. to 10:40 p.m. Ta-da! And there we go. So after that, he eats lunch. So let's copy paste that here. You see? It's getting easier every time, right? Then he does study and do homework because on the afternoons the time is separated for him to do that, okay? So he wants to keep himself up to date and not be late on assignments and do everything as soon as he can so he can ask the teachers if he has any doubts. So he would be inside that time where the teachers could answer him. So we go over here and put study and homework. And he does this for like an hour and a half, dun, dun, all the way from 12 all the way to 1:30 right here, Merchant Center. Then he takes a little snack and he goes to ask his mom just in case she knows how to do something that he has doubt with, and or he goes ahead and emails the teacher as well. That's a nice, awesome moment for doing that as well. As soon as he gets the doubt, or as soon as you get a break, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. And then we're gonna color it like this. Dun, dun. Let's give it a color, and right here it would be, let's say it's sort of like yellowy, like this. All right. So we have after eating lunch, he does studying and do homework. Then he eats a snack, which is green, just like eating lunch or breakfast, right? Because it's for food. In my case, you could do another color if you wish. Now over here, we continue studying. Even if he doesn't want to, sometimes we already have that in schedule. So that's what he has to do. Sometimes stuff might come up, okay? So schedules are not meant to be perfect. They're just meant to help you organize yourself throughout the day. So the day can last longer. So you can do more stuff in your free time without having all those responsibilities being carried on your shoulders. Now in this case, he does studying and homework all the way until 3 p.m. But right here we have him until 3:30. Notice that the end of 3, it starts 3:30 right here on the top. So we have it here until 3:30. Let's click, right now it's Merchant Center because it was already like that. Let's click on Merchant Center again to separate the cells. Ta-da! And now we're going to choose only 2 of them. Okay? And then we're going to Merchant Center because it's up to 3 p.m., not longer. Make sure that you put the borders again because you might lose them when you unmerge some cells. And right here we have to change the color back. We select the cell, go to home, and then select the bucket of paint, and instead of choosing white, which is not the best option, you go ahead and click on no fill. That means no color at all, not even white, it's just empty, no color. And there we go. Right after that, he has free time for 1 more hour. So free time and family time. For 1 hour. So we merged those 2 sections of 30 minutes. And then he does exercise for 1 hour, which is very important. So he didn't do exercise before doing this schedule, but after the schedule was there, then he started taking that time to do exercise, which is very important for our health and for our self-esteem. especially in these times that everybody's closed in their houses. It's very important that we do it because we're not having enough physical activity. All right. So that's the time in which he does some jumping jacks, push-ups here and there, and a lot of different stuff that might help him, like stay active, right? And let's put like a brown color to it, like this, and white letters because it's too dark of a color to make it easy to read, right? So there we go. You see, looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, looking good, looking good. Right after that, he goes ahead and has a little more time for family and free time if he already finished all of his assignments. Only when he finished all of his assignments, that's when he starts having free time. Or when he's up to date, at least, alright? Over here, after the exercises, then he has free and family time. Let's copy the previous one, which is for 2 blocks right here. Bum bum. Doo-doo. Isn't it like Lego? Think about it. There are different squares, and you're kind of like building something. And you are. You're building organization. You're organizing your week. And this is very important. If you could do this with your parents, that'll be great. They can help you out and have some feedback as well. And their opinions are very valuable. Alright, so over here, eating dinner, let's copy that and put it here. Dun dun. Perfect. And then, once again, if he has everything up to date, he's ready, and his parents say it's okay, then he has more free time and family time. Over here. Now, those are Sundays and Mondays. And that free time depends on how well you do during this time in classes and study and homework time. Remember, it might be different. It might be that you have all the way up to 4 you have study and homework, which is not bad either, as long as you take advantage of the time. Because if during those times you're wasting it instead of using it, instead of doing your homework in the computer, you start watching YouTube or start playing Roblox, then you're wasting your time, and then this won't work as well. But imagine having all that free time if you are able to organize yourself and do stuff inside a limited time, like right here. And remember that whenever you need more time, this does not have to be exact in your life. This is just a guideline, okay? Something to help you go through the day and know, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this more or less around now, or more or less around 3 p.m. I should be finishing my work already. But remember, you can always change it depending on the circumstances and the needs of the day and what your parents say. Alright, so now it's up to you. It's a challenge. It's up to you to do the rest of the week with your own schedule, with your own classes, and with your own routine. Alright, so I hope this video is very helpful in telling you how to merge and center, how to put a title, how to color everything and put the borders. Remember that you can put other types of borders as well, like for example right here on this top one, I'm going to put a thick border around it by just click on the cell that I want to put a border on, the title, right? Home. Then I go to the borders section, and I have a multiple variety of borders. Border colors as well. We can change the color of the borders. I'm gonna put it in purple, and then I'm gonna put a thick border around it. And look at this. So now it's a purple border, and it's thicker than the lines below, right? So that's very, very good, very fun as well. You can be creative with this, right? Remember to put the letters in a way that it's readable, and everything will be good. Remember to submit this through Teams. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can send me an email, and you already know my address, alright? It's in the assignment, in the instructions of the assignment. Right there you can find my email address as well. Alright, don't forget, when you finish this Excel schedule, you go over here to the top if you're using Microsoft Excel online, and you rename it. Instead of book 6 or book 1 or book 2, But the name that you're gonna put it is your name. Wepa. And I ate an I right there. What I say? Your name, weekly schedule. And we're good. And then it's saving. Alright. As soon as after you finish that, you go to the assignment section, add your work, and you can submit it. Perfect. I hope you have a nice day, a nice week. I'll see you soon.